What you are about to watch documents the final moments of Rebekah Baptiste's life. The footage shows how police officers and emergency medical personnel responded with urgency once they understood that a child was in medical distress. But it also shows something else, a stark contrast in behavior. While first responders moved quickly and treated the situation as an emergency, the child's father and his girlfriend did not display that same urgency. This video is not shown for shock. It is shown to examine how those final moments unfolded, how professionals responded, and how the actions and inactions of the adults responsible for Rebekah stand in contrast to the gravity of what was happening. This review is about accountability. Before we begin, a warning. This video discusses the death of a child. The earliest portions of the police body camera footage contains extremely sensitive imagery. Out of respect for the child, those visuals will not be shown. However, the audio will be played. What is shown and discussed is the response, the timeline, and the decisions that followed. This presentation is meant for public accountability. The first portion of this body camera footage documents officers arriving at the scene and encountering the child. I will not show those visuals. What matters here is not the imagery itself. What matters is how the response unfolded once law enforcement became aware that a child was in medical distress. At this stage, protocol should be clear: immediate medical assessment, rapid escalation, scene control. These first moments determine urgency, they determine escalation, and they determine how the situation is treated moving forward. At this point, officers are responding only to what is immediately in front of them. They do not yet have the full history.
How long ago?
I don't know how long it took us to get here.
I live...
Like maybe 30 minutes to get here?
We live 20 miles east of Petrified Forest. And you guys didn't call the ambulance?
Yeah, I was calling and the phone kept dropping. I talked to a sheriff.
There's no reception out there.
It dropped. I told her we were 20 miles east of the Petrified Forest. She's ran 3 times in the beach, and this time was by far worse.
I was trying to flag somebody down on the side of the road, and I thought it was the sheriff, but I don't know. I guess not, because he just looked at me. When are you beginning CPR? LT, can you give me some gloves? Can you grab me some gloves, please? Or you want to take over and I'll grab some? How long has it been since she's been responsive?
We don't know. She ran away and they found her in the dirt. As long as he got her in the quad and gave her to us.
Where were you guys at?
We live
east of Petrified Forest, and we're like 20 minutes in. You're in Apache County? Yeah, I believe so. We just moved here at the start of the month, so I'm still kind of getting She was involved in an accident?
No, she ran away. She's on medications. And she hasn't been on these medications in about a month because we've been moving.
Okay.
And then she ran.
Hold on a second. What happened, guys?
She ran away. And when they found her, this is how she was.
How long?
We don't know.
It's been at least 30 minutes.
It took us like 30 minutes just to get here.
Okay. Let's get her in our rig. Okay. I think she's been down a while, but we'll just work in a rig, yeah. I didn't know where else to take her. I didn't know where the closest places was.
Emergency medical services are now visibly present. An ambulance can be seen on scene. From this moment forward, the response is no longer only law enforcement. Medical authority has entered the picture. This is where duty of care becomes critical. Much of the audio in this portion is routine and difficult to clearly distinguish. Once the medical professionals arrive, the footage now shows how the response continues once the scene is no longer raw, but active. The officer repositions themselves. There is no visible chaos, no running, no raised voices. What we see is a controlled scene, but control is not the same thing as urgency. There are no audible expressions of escalation or emergency captured here. That absence matters.
How long has it been since you found her unresponsive?
We don't know. The neighbor brought us.
When did the neighbor bring her?
It's 11:48. It had to have been probably close to 11. At least 30.
What's your neighbor's name?
I don't know. I just moved out here. Most of the people that I know are relatives of my uncle who died. So I'm still getting used to the people.
Whose child is that?
that's my girlfriend.
As the footage continues, Richard Baptiste, the child's father, can be seen repeatedly placing his hands on or near his head. This posture appears nearly the entire time he is being questioned. Investigators are trained to note this behavior because it is commonly observed during high-stress encounters, particularly when individuals anticipate loss of control or serious consequences. The same behavior has been seen in other cases, notably the Chris Watts case. This posture is often described as self-soothing or bracing position. The observation does not establish guilt. However, it is a description of visible behavior that investigators are trained to document.
Running away.
Explain to me what you mean responsive.
Like she was just breathing on her own.
Breathing on her own?
But that was about
Okay.
it. And then as we were driving this way, started seeing color change in her lips, and we were just fucking hauling it.
Okay, you said she...
Yeah, she got that when she was in Phoenix.
Okay.
She ran away.
Did you guys take her to get treated for it?
Yes, she has a primary care, and then she also did a 7-day stay down in Phoenix.
Okay.
Not for that, but just for a prior incident.
Okay. And explain to me what you're going through. You said she's diagnosed with what? Can you explain that to me? Okay.
She was on 3 different medications before we left. I can't remember the third one right now. But it's been a little bit since she's been on her medication.
You guys doing okay? Yeah.
Now in the footage, as the children are being questioned while seated inside their vehicle, you can see Richard Baptiste and his girlfriend Anicia Woods remain close to their physical proximity. Notably, Anicia Woods positions herself near the children and maintains that position throughout the questioning, as does Richard Baptiste. It's like they're taking turns. Rather than stepping back, both adults appear to hover near the vehicle. Investigators are trained to recognize that the presence of caregivers during child questioning can influence responses. Children may alter, minimize, or withhold information when they feel observed or constrained. This proximity does not provide a neutral environment. Whether intentional or not, it creates pressure, and pressure compromises disclosure.
When she came back home, how did that? So, did mom and dad bring her home?
No. Well, one of our neighbors from there, they saw them laying, they saw her laying down on the ground, and then they brought her back home.
Oh, they brought her home? Okay. Alright. What's your name? How do you spell that? What's your last name?
Baptiste.
Okay, like your dad? Okay. You know when you were born? No? And what's your name? Can you spell that? Is your same last name? Okay, how old are you? 6?
How old is she?
She's 10.
Where does she go to school?
We haven't set that up yet.
No school yet?
No, we were trying to get her either into Concho.
Who's her primary care?
So I just had him switched over to
How long ago?
That was about 2 weeks ago, but her former one, his name is...
Hang on just a second. Who did she see over?
I'm sorry, what?
Where was she? Who was she seeing? Do you know the doctor's name?
They haven't had their, none of them have their initial appointment.
They haven't been in there yet?
No.
So who's the last doctor she's seen and been treated by? Spell that. I'm going to need a number for him anyway, so.
Yeah, here, let me look it up.
Okay. Alright, ma'am. So walk me through what happened today.
We were outside starting the morning. Before I can get waters in the bottles, she went running off again.
Okay, you saw her run off?
No, she disappears. We have them play in the yard, and she was supposed to go stand in the shade and go wait for me, because that's where we've been keeping her, to be outside, because she can't be trusted in the building, because she gets there, there's knives, there's weapons, there's everything.
Okay.
So I had her standing outside. I turned around to go grab waters for bottles, and she was gone.
Okay. Was she complaining of any pain, any sickness, anything like that today?
She's been complaining of a headache.
A headache?
Ever since she ran away the first day, she's been complaining of a headache.
Okay, this is frequently running away lately?
It's 3 times in less than 2 weeks.
She actually ran away a week before we moved out here. So
yeah, she actually jumped out the window. I was telling the other officer over there in the beige that she, just before we came up here, I didn't tell him about what he was bringing up. My dad brought up, she just ran away before we came up here. That one was super scary. She kicked out a screen and jumped out
How long ago was that?
the second store window.
It was
a week before we moved here.
It was the last week of June.
So it sounds like there's been a history of behavioral issues?
Yes, he was asking me if she had a history. She's had this long history of running away.
Okay.
So, I don't know exactly where, do you know where they're going? Because
LCMC. Little Colorado Medical Center in Winslow.
Will one of you guys be able to we follow someone that way? We don't know the area.
I can just Google it.
I'll get you the address.
All right, we're not from this area.
Are they going to LCMC?
Most likely, unless they got a pulse.
Did they? Good.
I noticed when he had handed her to us that bulge in her chest, and that was making me afraid of. I didn't even think to start CPR. I just thought, let me keep breathing for her and let's just go.
Okay.
But I was telling that officer she has a long history of no physical health conditions, but it's mental health. For the last 3 years,
has she been seeing a provider for her mental health?
We took her to Tarot. She was seeing a psychiatrist there that put her on medications. Taros. Terros.
Who's the doctor?
It was starts with a K, but it's yes, ma'am.
With a
K. Last name is K.
K.
Yes.
And then where was that?
It's in Phoenix. So there's multiple offices, but it's one off of. And what was that other street, babe?
How long did she see them?
She's been seeing them for 2.5 years. Since we first had an incident, we basically took her there.
Going to Little Colorado Medical Center, I think it's 1520 Williamson in Winslow right now until they can get a middle air back. And if she gets air back, they'll probably take her to Flagstaff. And then Flagstaff, they may or may not take her down to Phoenix.
For Phoenix Children's.
Yeah, so I would just follow up with the hospitals. That'll be the fastest route to figure that out.
And that's where I was telling you. I told him the first time that she ran away, she was taken over to Phoenix Children's Hospital and she ended up on a 7-day hold, a psychiatric hold. She has a long history with running to DCS and making up stories of her brothers.
So there has been DCS cases before?
Yeah,
I just got them back from the state.
Okay, who is your caseworker?
No, there is none now.
Well, they're what?
Please now take the time to pause on each screen before continuing. What you are about to read is the actual documented concerns reported to DCS regarding Rebekah and her siblings, spanning over 10 years. For a full decade, concerns involving Rebekah's father, her mother, and Anicia Woods was reported, documented, and revisited. This was not one missed sign, it was 10 years of signs. Each screen reflects specific incidents, specific concerns, and specific dates recorded over time. Please slow down and read every screen completely. These detail matters because they show what was known long before Rebekah died. This information existed before Rebekah's death. It was available, it was documented, it was not hidden. Understanding how a child has failed doesn't happen in a swipe or a scroll. Pause, read it, sit with it, because 10 years of concern didn't disappear, it was ignored. When a family disappears while in an active DCS child safety case, that should trigger an immediate escalation, not a waiting period. Children involved in active abuse or neglect investigations are by definition already at risk. If those children suddenly cannot be located, that risk increases. It does not pause. There should be a formal alert system similar in urgency to an Amber Alert that notifies authorities, agencies, and the public that children connected to an active DCS case need to be located immediately. This would not be about punishment, this would be about prevention. Had such a system existed, it's possible that Rebekah could have been located sooner, and her death may have been prevented. When the system loses sight of a child it already knew was in danger, the system must do more. Children must not be allowed to disappear quietly.
From the state.
Okay, who is your caseworker?
No, there is none now.
Well, who was?
There was multiple. The last one was transferred to a different division.
When was the last time you had contact with them?
The case was closed May.
May of this year?
May of last year.
Last year?
That's when we got our youngest back.
Okay.
And that's when the official case was closed. Her case was closed about a year before that.
Okay.
But she still, while his case was open, DCS kept having new cases open because Rebekah would go to school and had all these different allegations. And what was becoming alarming to not only her therapist but to the DCS workers was that she started having markings. Like she had bruises on her hands and her arms, and they took pictures and thought Rebekah had told her that we had done it, and it was her way to try to get taken out. The first time she ran away, she told us that she didn't want to live here. She was just trying to leave. But we explained to her, everyone explained to her the dangers that come with this. She did. She ran away like 3 days after that, and then now this. But she's been complaining of headaches since the first day and basically dehydrated ever since the first day. I was telling him her mouth has been really bad since the first day.
Okay, I need to talk with him real quick. So who's the biological mother?
Her name is Sandy Hawkins.
Spell that.
Sandi. And then Hawkins is Hawkins.
Hawk what?
INS.
Okay, where's she live?
I have no idea. She's a drug addict.
Okay, where's the last place you know of her being?
She was in Phoenix, and it was some apartment complex off of. I don't even remember the name of it.
Has she been in the little girl's life at any point, visiting, anything like that?
She stopped coming to visits.
It's like about 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you have a number for her?
No.
Is there a way to get a hold of her?
I would assume Facebook Messenger. Okay. I don't have contact with her. Just.
Do you know her date of birth by any chance?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know Sandy's date of birth? How long has it been since mom's been involved, you said?
2.5 years.
2 years?
2.5, maybe 3.
Do you have full custody? How's that go?
So I just got the kids back, and I've been working on getting full custody.
Okay, so you guys, between you and her, you have shared right now?
Only through whatever legal standpoint that is.
Okay.
By the end of this footage, the scene is stabilized, but stabilization does not mean resolution. What this footage shows is not disorder. It shows a system operating normally in a moment that was anything but normal. It is only after this response that the larger picture comes into focus. Only after records are reviewed does the history emerge. Rebekah Baptiste did not suffer in silence. When she was 9 years old, Rebekah ran away from her home. She escaped through a second-story window. She was located and taken to the hospital. Children do not flee from safety, they flee from fear. Rebekah's school reported signs of abuse multiple times. These were mandated reporters. The warnings were documented. When Rebekah was found on July 27th, the injuries documented were severe. She was covered in bruises, she was missing her toenails, she had a brain bleed. Medical evaluations identified signs consistent with sexual abuse. These findings reflected prolonged harm. The Arizona Department of Human Services has long-term involvement with these children. Over a period spanning years, reports were made and concerns documented. Custody was removed and later returned to Richard Baptiste. That decision matters. Richard Baptiste has been officially charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of child abuse, and 2 counts of child molestation. Anesia Woods has also been charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of child abuse, and 2 counts of child molestation. Rebekah tried to escape. Adults reported those concerns. Systems documented the risk. and protection did not come. Accountability is not about outrage. It is about listening when children show us that they are in danger. Rebekah did, and yet no one listened.
But we'll let you guys get out of here and get to the hospital, okay?
So it's called the Little Colorado Medical Center if you want to look it up on your phone.
Will do.
Okay.
Okay? So let's just get there safely, okay? Seatbelts and just try and get there for your daughter, okay?
Rebekah Baptiste did not fall through the cracks. She was known to the system. For years, concerns were reported. Warnings were documented, opportunities to intervene existed, and still Rebekah is gone. This case is not only about what happened to Rebekah, it is also about what failed around her. A system that saw repeated warning signs did not stop the harm in time. As this case now moves towards an upcoming trial for Rebekah's murder, the focus must remain where it belongs, on the truth, on accountability, on the justice for a child who could not protect herself. A trial can determine guilt. It cannot undo years of missed chances. Rebekah deserved safety. She deserved protection. She deserved a chance to grow up. If this case changes nothing, then the system has failed her again. Let Rebekah be remembered not only in the courtroom, but as a reason to demand stronger safeguards, faster intervention, and real accountability when children show clear signs of danger, because no child should have to die for their warnings to finally be taken seriously. Rebekah mattered.